Hey, it's Mike with TechPB, and today we're going to do a quick show on accuracy. Okay, I get a lot of people asking about what's accurate, how do I get my gun more accurate, so I'm going to share some tips with you. Most people that shoot my guns say my guns are incredibly accurate, and there's no surprise as to why my guns are so accurate. I'm going to share some of my tips with you. Okay, the first thing, in a previous episode I talked about upgrading from CO2 to high pressure air. Okay, the differences in accuracy between CO2 and high pressure air are huge. Go watch the video if you're shooting CO2 on why you should upgrade to high pressure air. Biggest difference, CO2 is very temperature sensitive. As the temperature goes up, your pressure goes up. As the temperature goes down, your pressure goes down. So as your pressure goes up, your velocity goes up. As your pressure goes down, your velocity goes down. So with CO2, your gun, doesn't matter what else you do to it, is not going to be very accurate, because if you shoot 100 balls in a string, the first ball is going to hit at a different place than the last ball. So right off the bat, if you're shooting CO2, the first thing I recommend you go do is upgrade to high pressure air. Okay. Now that you've upgraded to high pressure air, one of the biggest things I'm going to tell you about on accuracy is a clean gun. Okay, your gun has to be spotless on the inside and out. Okay, I'm very meticulous about my equipment when I'm out there and I'm playing. Okay, I'm an old man, and if my gun's at least not accurate, I don't have a chance out there. So my guns are very clean on the inside, cleaning out the raceway inside your loader, making sure your eyes are cleaned out, your detents are cleaned out, your bolt is cleaned out, your barrel is spotless on the inside, making sure everything is spotless on the inside. Now, that cleanliness, I'll tell you right off the bat, is probably the #1 reason why I see that guns are not accurate. You can even do a test. You can do this at your house. Take your barrel, rinse it in hot water, make it spotless on the inside, okay? Then all you gotta do is just take some of the oil that you have on your forehead and wipe it on the part of the barrel and go out there and shoot. You're gonna see the balls are gonna hit that oil and create spins. You're gonna see an inconsistent pattern. So something as insignificant as a tiny dab of oil on the inside of your barrel is enough to make your shot pattern be all over the place. And the further out you shoot, the more inaccurate it's gonna be. But having a clean gun is huge. Making sure that there is absolutely no paint, no oil, no shell, nothing inside the gun. That is huge. Cleaning out your detents, your eyes, your barrel, your bolt, not over lubing your gun. It's one of the reasons why I've never really been that big of a fan of the spool valve guns. Now I know a lot of people love their dies, a lot of people love their shockers, okay, whatever, but a problem is I've seen is a lot of those guns, because of the amount of O-rings that they use a lot of lube. And you've got to lube them often. Well, the reason why you have to lube them often is because the internals of the gun, they're using so much air that they shoot the lube down the barrel. What do you think that's going to do? It's going to coat the inside of your barrel with oil. It's going to coat the inside of your barrel with lube, and your balls aren't going to be as accurate. So that's why I've always been more of a fan of the poppet style guns than the spool type guns. I mean, I've got dies, FEP Quest, I've got shockers and this, that, and the other, but because of the amount of lube that typically those guns use, the more lube they use, the more of a chance there's going to be on them coating the inside of your barrel. As the air pressure goes out, pushing the ball out, lube is going to follow the ball out the barrel, and it's going to coat the inside of your barrel. So the cleaner your gun is, the more accurate it's going to be. The next thing is, obviously I did a show on it, one of my first shows I ever did, inspecting your paint. You have to make sure that your paint is absolutely spotless. There's no dimples, no dents, no divots, no flat spots, none of that stuff, okay? Inspecting your paint is everything. Now, paintball, luckily in today's time, regulators have made a huge jump in the past few years, okay? Most of the regulators right now that are coming on the stock guns work just fine at 13 balls per second. They've got a great metered shot. They're keeping up just fine. I think the last bad regulator was probably like War Games. I mean, that was, I don't know what the, War Games products, what they put like on the 2004 autococker. So I mean, those regs are dog shit. But most of the regulators now that are made on most of the guns are great regulators, even the stock ones. Okay, now I know a lot of people like to upgrade to like CP and MacDev and this, that, and the other. Honestly, you usually don't really see that much difference in gains. But when all you've got to do is shoot in the backyard, then okay, maybe that makes a big deal. But most of the stock regulators now have reached a point to where they're consistent enough to keep up with the guns to keep up with the gun just fine. So regulator is not going to give you that much of a difference. Okay, you could have a brand new CP regulator on your gun, but if the internals are filthy, you're not going to get any gains. So the first thing I would start with is clean your hopper, okay? Make sure you're checking inside there, make sure there's no broken shell, no dirt, anything. Even dirt. If dirt gets into your barrel and it scratches your barrel, what do you think it's going to do to the next ball that goes through it? That scratch is going to catch the ball is going to create a spin, and it's going to hook. And you're not going to be able to hit, hit your target. So clean your loaders, clean your guns out, clean your barrels. And like I recommended before, overbore your barrels. For some reason, for me, it works great. I did a whole show on why you should overbore with balloons and all that stuff. Go watch that show. I recommend one of my all-time favorite barrels, 693 CP barrel, works phenomenal. If you want a two-piece barrel, the Mark two-piece barrel works phenomenal. 694 Mark two-piece barrel. Those are my two favorite barrels right now on the market. CP 14-inch 693 single and the Mark two-piece 694. On this gun right now, this is a Mark 694. Shoots phenomenal, accurate as hell. So I definitely recommend overboring, okay? Planet Eclipse is overboring, and their guns are accurate. Every single gun that comes from Planet Eclipse is a 693. So you guys with all these inserts and stuff like that, it's not doing you any good. Just go get a 693 single barrel. But that's some of the ways to make sure that your gun shoots accurately is make sure that your regulators are lubed and properly serviced. Make sure your loader is clean. Make sure that your gun is clean. Make sure that your barrel is clean. The cleaner your gun is, the more accurate it's going to be. And something else too, wash your goddamn squeegees. I can't believe this. Your barrel is only going to be as clean as the squeegee you put through it, okay? So if you've got the one squeegee that you've had for a year and you've never washed, and you're sticking that through your barrel, okay, you're sanding it down. You're not cleaning it. It's got dirt, it's got grime, it's got shell, it's got weeds, it's got grass on it. You're shoving that through your barrel. No wonder why you guys can't hit me when I'm out on the field. So have a couple of squeegees and definitely have like a jerk swab. Go watch the squeegee show. Huge show on how to get your barrels clean. Have a jerk swab and a barrel swab. I've got 5 or 6 barrel swabs. I've got barrel swabs that I just leave here at the house for cleaning up my guns here at the house, and I usually carry 3 to the field. Once you use that swab once, that's it. You can't use it again because when you go and put it through again, it's going to line the inside of the barrel with paint. So carry a couple swabs out to the field. Hopefully, if you watched all my videos, you're not breaking paint in your gun and just using the swab as maybe a once a month type thing. But definitely carry a couple swabs to the field. Right now, my favorite swab that's ever come out is the custom product swab. That swab is phenomenal. It's like terry cloth lined, and I mean, it makes the inside of the barrel look like a mirror. So get that swab, and that's about it for accuracy. It takes practice with your gun before it becomes, before you start feeling more and more accurate with it. So shooting paint's going to help, but definitely help your gun out as much as you possibly can by making it as clean as possible. Clean your loader, make sure that's spotless. Clean the inside of your gun, make sure that's spotless. Lube your regulators, set your pressures properly, set your dwell properly to the factory recommendations, overbore your barrel, and make sure everything's spotless on the inside. You're inspecting your paint using clean swabs when you do break balls, and your gun's going to be very, very accurate. So that's about it for the accuracy show. So email me if you have any questions. Thanks for tuning in.